All right, guys, all right. It's been almost a week Biden's been in the White House, and look, people are going to come off as me just hating on him in this video, but there's a lot the media isn't covering, and Biden is doing a bang-up job. Look, I want to be optimistic, I want to be enthusiastic, I want to be okay. It's not the guy I would have voted for, but let's see what he does right and what he does wrong. And there's been a couple of things he's done right. Obviously, I like the fact that he's going through, and I don't like the fact, but I understand the fact that he's forcing companies to go through and to use their infrastructure for COVID and stuff like that. I don't like that idea, but I can get behind it. But there's been a series of things that he's done that has been absolutely disastrous for anybody that's a libertarian. To say that this first week of Biden's presidency has been good is been anybody that is living in cloud nine. Because even his own approval rating for Biden is like 46%. So at the end of the day, 46% still, but anyway. But it's funny because if you look 2 minutes ago, a Biden approval rating is higher than Trump's ever was. But 3 days ago, they were saying, oh, Joe Biden's approval rating lower than Trump's. So what was it, But we'll get to the facts. Don't worry. So we're going to look at the one that 3 days ago where they literally were claiming that his approval rating was lower than Trump's, because that's actually the truth. But let's jump into it. So the first thing we should probably talk about is his approval rating. Oh no, Joe Biden's open approval rating lower than Trump's and Obama's. The work ahead for both is hard, but I promise you this, the president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not, will keep the faith that you have the place in me. That's a quote directly from Joe Biden himself, but despite his promise to be for all Americans, he's not off to a great start in terms of ratings, commenting and below his two predecessors. According to the Ramsden Presidential Daily Tracking Poll, which averaged the latest 3 days, Biden started off at 48% approval and is down to 45% disapproval. Okay? So, notably, he's struggled with women, 46% approval, 48% disapproval, and white Americans, 43% approval, 51% disapproval. In comparing the data, Biden is doing worse than both President Barack Obama, which is understandable, although he supposedly got more votes than Barack Obama in black areas, but regardless. And shocking enough, President Trump. Trump kicked off his term with a 56% approval, 46% disapproval, while Obama started with a 42% approval and 32% disapproval. Biden has already has been hit with criticisms over many of the executive orders he signed during his first day in office. For example, Texas lawmakers blasted Biden for blocking the Keystone Pipe, which we're going to talk about but just after this segment, actually, because this video is going to be in like 4 or 5 segments. We're going to talk about all the things that he's done that are really not helping his case, right? So the Keystone Pipeline here. General manager working on the Keystone Pipeline, hundreds of guys have already been laid off because of Biden's executive order. Now, before we go through and listen to that, what is the Keystone Pipeline? So the Keystone Pipeline goes through and connects... see if I can bring up the image here. It goes through and connects Houston, Texas, goes all the way up through Central America, up into Canada, right? So that's what it does. And it's a pipeline that was going to provide oil and whatnot to Canada. And it was commissioned in 2010 and owned by TC Energy. As of 31st of March 2020, the government of Albert runs from Western Canada Cement Basin in Albert to refineries in Illinois, Texas, and also to oil tank farms and oil pipeline distribution center in Oklahoma. So it's an oil pipeline, right? And it's really good for both America and the US. provides jobs, gives a lot of jobs to workers and stuff like that. And also the constant revenue, I presume, that America has worked out a deal with Canada to sell them cheap oil. Now, here we have the general manager working on the Keystone Pipeline. Hundreds of guys have already been laid off. So what we're going to do, we're just going to play this for you guys. I'm just going to let him, in his own words, speak.
Recently, we're doing...
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. Let's start again. Boom, a moment.
Right now, the numbers of jobs are thousands of jobs. There's Michaels, there's Precision Pipeline that would have affected that the pipeline was going to be constructed. The actions that were happened recently, we were doing station work. There's hundreds of guys that got laid off. What was that? Tuesday.
Or any live in Wisconsin? Or
yes, a lot of them live in Wisconsin. Yes.
That's an important point to know.
Right now,
the reason that's important, Wisconsin, according to the election results, voted for this. What did you think was going to happen when you put a far leftist, well, a leftist in parliament, a part of establishment, into your government? What did you think was going to happen? This is the thing that's infuriating, is all these leftists right now, like Jimmy Dore, are starting to sit there and go, well, yeah, Biden's doing a bang-up job criticising him. But you were the one that would have voted for him over Trump. When you're sitting there and go that you would rather vote for Biden, who, by the way, we're going to get into, has been an interventionist in most of the world at the moment, over Trump. Because he sends mean tweets. Are you joking? I've got a rant. We're going to get into a rant. Don't worry. Let's get on to the next thing, right? So the Keystone Pipeline alone is bad enough. Right? But then we have Alberta's top officials call Biden's decision to stop the Keystone an insult to Canada. So not only is he costing jobs in America, not only is he costing revenue and all this sort of stuff and possibly future income from America and Canada selling oil and that to each other, but now even Canada is insulted by the fact that he would pull out of this deal. What was it they said when Trump was being an isolationist and it was affecting the rest of the world, that the rest of the world standing with Trump is in terrible shaky grounds? Day one, Canada is already insulted by Biden. And the media doesn't want to touch it. The media is not touching this at the 10-foot pole. Because their guy won. Yeah! God, it gets worse. Biden invades Syria with convoy of US troops and choppers on the first day. On the first day of being in the White House, Joe Biden has sent troops into Syria via convoy of trucks. I think it was 30 or 40 trucks and helicopters. Thousands of troops by helicopters. And the first thing they went and did was guard the oil wells. No joke. Within 24 hours of his swearing ceremony, Joe Biden has invaded Syria with a convoy of US troops and choppers carrying 200 more soldiers. I believe there was more than 200, but anyway. A large convoy of US military personnel headed into Syria on Thursday, along with hundreds of troops, some 24 hours after President Biden took office and took on his commander-in-chief role, foreign media reported. There were 40 trucks. Let me ask you this question. If there's only hundreds of troops and 40 trucks, how many troops do you think you can fit in 40 trucks? Why did they need a helicopter full of troops as well? But anyway. So I think there was more than hundreds. High hundreds, maybe, sure. So they're claiming an additional 200 troops were helicoptered in. So God knows how many troops were in those choppers, were in those convoys as well. But anyway. Syria US ambassador calls on US to withdraw troops, acts of an aggression. Speaking to the UN Security Council, Balash what his name is, accuses the US of plundering Syria's oil and gas reserves. Calls on Biden administration to end Trump's policies. You're kidding, right? Middle East? But anyway. Syria's first diplomatic message to the US President Joe Biden came with a stern call for Washington to withdraw its forces and its plundering of its country's wealth. How are they blaming Trump for this? I've got no idea. But anyway, an ambassador to the UN nation called Biden to change the US foreign policy within Syria, which is hearing 10 years of civil war sparked by hundreds of brutal crackdowns on anti-government uprising in 2011. So it started under Obama. Oof. Who was the vice president under Obama? Then we have Biden's admin to continue imperialist policies towards Venezuela, recognizing Guaido as a president. Guaido, who has 3% of the vote. 3% of the population vote in Venezuela likes Guaido. But the US says, that's our guy. We're going to topple the current Venezuela regime, and we're going to put in our guy who got 3% of the vote. Tony Blinken, Biden's nominee for Secretary of State, said Tuesday the new administration will continue to recognize Guaido as the president of Venezuela, rather than the democratically elected President Maduro. Blinken also said that the US will continue to impose harsh sanctions which have crippled Venezuela's economy. The January 2020 Venezuela opposition leader Guaido stormed parliament with a group of lawmakers in an effort to forcibly swear himself as the country's leader. Guaido and his supporters were eventually pushed back by police with tear gas outside the government building. Guaido has failed to consolidate power since 2019's unsuccessful coup attempt. The ongoing US sanctions have crippled Venezuela's economy. Research from the Center of Economic and Policies Research estimates as many as 40,000 Venezuelans have died due to sanctions. This is a Democracy Now! Website. This is Democracy Now! This, to me, from my understanding, is not a right-wing party. Is not a right-wing website. This, to me, is the left-wing, criticizing Biden because he's swearing allegiance to Guaido, who got 3% of the vote, apparently. Now, whether that election was rigged or not, who knows? But at the end of the day, this is who he's picking as, this is our guy. This is our guy in Venezuela. 3% of the vote. Trump got 49% of the vote, if you believe the results. And when a bunch of guys stormed the Capitol, it's called an insurrection. What do you call it when 3% of the vote tries to storm the Capitol? PR? Oh, I don't know. Joe Biden suspends Trump's executive order to lower insulin urine prices. Medipens. President Joe Biden's first actions includes a directive that suspends Donald Trump's executive order aimed at lowering the price of insulin and urine Medipens, which have gone into effect on Friday, January 22nd. The directive, issued by the White House Chief Staff Ron Klain, suspends new regulations for 60 days while the new administration can conduct a review. So in other words, Trump was trying to make Medipens and insulin and all this sort of, and HIV too, by the way, AIDS medication supposedly, was on the list to make it cheaper. You know how the left is outraged over Pharma Bro? who supposedly jacked up the price of HIV medication, Trump was trying to lower the medication prices. Biden has just signed an executive order suspending any new orders that would allow these prices to drop. If you need to go and get a MediPen, or if you need to get insulin or HIV medication in the next 60 days, I'm sorry that it's dearer, but on the bright side, at least you don't have a guy in the White House sending mean tweets. Because those tweets were harsh and hurting people's feelings, let alone the fact that they might have to have a second or third job to pay for a MediPen, insulin, or HIV medication. I can't. What do you Democrats want me to say? Send this video to every person that voted for Joe Biden. And I want to know, what do you say now? Do mean tweets outweigh anything that I've told you about right now? Twitter, Trump on Twitter, sending tweets. Oh my God, he's such a mean president. He's so not presidential. Kids are going to have shrapnel in their legs from bombs dropping. Venezuela's legally, whether the election was rigged or not, Venezuela's elected official is going to be toppled by Biden's administration. There's an executive order banning MediPens, HIV medication, and insulin to be cheaper. We haven't even got to some of the other stuff yet. The Keystone Pipeline has been put on hold. But don't worry, we don't have a guy in the White House sending mean frigging tweets. Critics say 2000 Biden's COVID relief plan breaks the promise of $2,000 stimulus check. Remember when they said that you vote for us, we will give you a $2,000 stimulus check? Well, now it's we're going to give you a $1,400 stimulus check because you already got $600 last year. He's already walking back the $1,400, the $2,000. It's now not $2,000 that you're going to get. It's $1,400. But it's not the first thing he's walked back. Biden unveiled the $1.9 trillion package on Thursday that includes an additional $1,400 stimulus package to many taxpayers and their dependents. The incoming president says the payments will top off the second round of $600 checks, which guaranteed at the end of 2020, bringing the total to $2,000 per person. So we're no longer sending you a $2,000 check. We're going to send you a $1,400 check. Kind of seems like he might be breaking one of those promises, don't you think? We will finish the job getting a total of $2,000 in cash relief. Now, mind you, the rest of the world has been getting, up to 90% of their income for the past 12 months. Even in Australia here, if I was to sit on Centrelink, I would be receiving $1,000 a week. It's actually more profitable for me to sit on Centrelink at the moment and keep getting those COVID payments than it is for me to go to work. I know, I should be doing it. I should be sitting at home, playing on YouTube, making videos, streaming, having fun, and instead of going to work, because it'd be more profitable. But regardless. And look, this is obviously a failure on Trump's part too. Trump should have enacted something else to help with COVID. Granted. But Trump's not in the White House anymore. Biden is. Trump wasn't elected on a promise to help people with COVID payments. Biden was. Biden walking back immigration promises. But don't worry, the Hill says it's for a reason. You gotta love the mainstream media's covering for him, right? I wonder how long they're gonna get sick of doing this. But anyway. U.S. Department of Homeland Security has released its Fiscal Year 2000 Enforcement Lifestyle and Report, which links enforcement records for 3.5 million border encounters between the fiscal 2014 and fiscal 2019 with their financial most currently, blah, blah, blah. The report indicates that we still have a border security crisis. A crisis that is likely to get much worse if President-elect Joe Biden keeps his campaign promise to rescind President Donald Trump's border security measures during the first 100 days of his administration. Unfortunately, Biden is walking back this promise. At a press conference, Biden said that they're changing the Trump's policy immediately is the last thing we need because it could lead to having 2 million asylum seekers at our border. He thinks he needs probably 6 months to rebuild the system for processing immigrants and to secure funding for more immigration judges. So I was going to do it in the first 100 days. But now it's going to take 6 months. Well, I know I said 100 days, but, you know, what's really 100 days? You know, like, we'll make it 6 months. We'll round it up. We'll round it up to, 150, 200 days. Yeah. I know I promised the first 100, but we'll just, what's an extra 50? What's an extra 100? You know? Biden administration now allow visitors on the White House website to choose your pronouns. So don't worry. After destroying thousands of jobs for the Keystone Pipeline, making many pens insulin and AIDS medication dearer, going through invading Syria, selecting Venezuela's president to be the unpopular one that had 3% of the vote, going through and walking back stimulus while walking back immigration, the one thing that Biden did do, he updated the White House website to include pronouns. We can't give you $1,400 checks or $2,000 checks like that. It takes months to give your own people cash, even though they control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Even though we own three, we all have all three, and the media to back us up. Even though we have this large conglomerate of people to help push this through so that everybody gets $2,000. We haven't done that. But what we have done, by golly gosh, we've made it so that you can virtual signal on our website. What is $2,000? Was it 330 million? So I'm trying to figure out the zeros here. So it's 660. Is that trillion? Billion. $660 billion. To send out everybody $2,000 checks is $660 billion. To send out $1,400 checks is $462 billion. Here's my question. Why is it the package that Biden is securing, because they said here, and this is my important question to finish this video. Why is it his package of $1.9 trillion? Why is his package of $1.9 trillion only including $462 billion for relief for households? Where is the rest of the money gone? Now that's presuming every single person in America gets $1,400 regardless of qualifications. Everybody gets a check. Everybody gets a check. Making it rain checks. Rain from the sky above. $462 billion. So where the hell is the rest of the money? If his package is $1.9 trillion, where the hell is the rest of this money gone? That's what I want to know. I have a sneaking suspicion. Wall Street, banks, large corporations, Amazon, all these sort of places who are thriving right now. If you give $1,400 to everybody and you allow places to open up under social distancing laws, the economy will be back, baby. But I suppose we don't want that, do we? But guys, this is just the first week of Biden's presidency. This photo kind of sums it up for me. This is, yeah. Oh no, Joe. Oh no. You're not doing so well, are you? And to all the Democrats who voted for him, all the people that voted for Biden, how's that buyer's remorse feeling right now? We still have Antifa rioting. They rioted again on the weekend. Didn't even cover that part. Probably should have. Might do a separate video. But at least in the White House, we don't have a guy who sends mean tweets. That's one good thing we can take out of it all, right? You know, Syria's going to get bombed, Venezuela's going to be toppled, can't send out a $2,000 check, Keystone Pipeline's going to be terminated, insulin, Medipens, HIV medication's going to be dearer. But hey, at least we don't have a guy sending mean tweets. Way to go, America. Trump 2024, I think. But let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. We do have another video that is going to be talking about election results. I don't know if I can upload it to this channel or if I have to load it to Chute. So what I'll do is I'll upload it to Chute and I will put a link in the description below to that video. And I'll tweet it out. Because if I put it into this video, they might still suppress the channel or hit the channel. So I'll tweet out a link to the Chute video. It's going to be covering election results. I can't talk about it here, but let's just say Trump presidency. But anyway, guys, yeah, that'll be on Chute. I'll tweet it out. Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. 2 more videos for this channel, 1 more extra for Chute, 4 videos for the day. Unlike Biden, we're back, baby! Yeah, I don't know, I'm just working it in there somewhere. Let me know your thoughts, have a great day, and enjoy.